Yes. Welcome, welcome. Anybody joining in, let me know how the stream is coming through, how the audio is coming through, how the image is coming through. We're trying to improve every stream. Every stream is getting better. Make sure to shout out your city. Shout out your equipment, what samplers you rocking with, what time zone you're in, what country you're in. If you're watching the World Cup, who you repping, who you rooting for. We could talk about any and everything within reason. This channel is about creativity. It's about inspiration. It's about education. Yes, sir. It's your boy Freeplay. Always ready to share my knowledge, open-minded to the community's knowledge, as we do have a lot of people, a lot of members that come through and share their expertise, their experience, the technical and the not so technical. I mainly focus on talking about the Akai MPC 2000 XL and the Ensoniq ASR 10, two legendary samplers that have been used to create countless hits on hits on hits. I haven't done a studio tour in this new setup. We can talk about it if you guys are interested in that. One of the things I did want to talk about are the recent drops by Akai. This happened right after my previous stream, and I just so happened to be at work, but I was excited because a lot of the conversation that we were having on, I think it was a Thursday, was centered around just finding the sampler for you and not having that need to move on to something new. There's nothing wrong with buying equipment. Everyone's free to do whatever they want with their hard-earned money. But something that I do emphasize on this channel is mastering your equipment that you already have. Nothing wrong with being a collector. I guess I collect vinyl amongst other things here and there. Not much of a collector, I would say. I think these days I'm more of a utilitarian mentality type of person. So what I mean by that is I usually like to see things getting used in the studio and in my space. So if something is not being used, I either try to find a way to, if it's not functioning, if it's garbage, I'll throw it out, obviously. And if it's something that I can gift and will be put to good use, I've done that before. Or obviously, if it's valuable musical equipment, I've sold it. So I don't like to collect music equipment because I do believe that instruments deserve to be in the hands of musicians. It is important to archive musical history. It is important for places like museums to have legendary pieces of equipment. For example, Jay Dilla's MPC 3000, I believe, is still in the Smithsonian. But I'm not a museum. I'm a musician. So every piece I feel I have serves a purpose. And some of my equipment obviously is modern, just like the description of my channel says. I combine modern workflows with vintage samplers. So this is not trying to herald or, I don't think that's the right word for it, but I don't think this channel is trying to emphasize an all analog workflow as being somehow superior to digital audio workstations or DAWs. I've used both, right? So I've worked solely on the samplers, and I've worked solely in the box, which is the term used to say you work inside of the computer, right? Sometimes you'll see me break things down into a simpler or layman's term, because not everyone that passes through here is an audio expert, and I try to be welcoming to somebody that may be considered a beginner, because we were all beginners at one point, right? So this is a hybrid, I guess you could say, workflow. As people make their way in, I'll talk a little bit about my signal flow and what I'm working with here. So as I mentioned before, the two main samplers that are being used in this channel, there's actually three. There is the Ensoniq ASR10, which, if you know, it's this keyboard right here behind me, created in the 90s by Ensoniq, the advanced sampling recorder, used by legendary producers. Not gonna name them right now because we have many times, and if you know and you want to shout out how you came to know about the Ensoniq ASR 10, let me know. Nino, that keyboard sucks. Yes, sir. It sucks to love it because it's hard to find, hard to come across, and expensive nowadays. Obviously, Nino is joking because he also is an ASR 10 user, and I would say, dare to say, fanatic. What up, Nino? LX Yala, fire emojis to you for joining us. The Akai MPC 2000 XL, which also sucks, is in this far left corner here. And also the Teenage Engineering KO2. Do we call it the Gen 1? There is a Gen 2 that just added more memory, but I don't think there's any significant difference to consider it a KO3 or KO2 Gen 2. LX Yala, been looking for an ASR 10 here in the UK, and it's rare, bro. It's rare everywhere, my brother. It's a rare keyboard because they're no longer being made, and they're very sought after. Probably for the same reasons you want one. Do you mind sharing why you want one and how you came across like knowing about it? What made you want to look for an ASR 10? If you don't mind sharing it in the chat. I'm surprised you don't use the SP404 MK2. So I never used the SP. I know that it's a common sidekick to the MPC 2000 XL, especially if you don't have the FX board, because the Roland effects are amazing. I think they're amazing. I've never used a SP. And up until the 404 Mark II, I dare say I never even knew like the in-person size of it. I walked into a Guitar Center and I saw a 404 Mark II. I think it's a beautiful piece of equipment. I honestly, just it hasn't been in my like budget, or by the time that I could put one into my setup, I decided to go with the KO2, which was I think $100 less. So it was a price played a bit of a factor in that decision, and it just has to do with timing, right? And every so often I go on B&H and I check on the 404, but I see that they're not selling it anymore. I don't know if there's a Mark III coming, because usually when you stop seeing these things come up is because the company is moving on. The other thing that turned me off about it recently, when I did have some funds to buy one, is that the tariffs put the price up a bit. And I didn't think that the new price was worth it, in my opinion. A lot of menu diving, it's a great piece, but I just didn't see that it would be for me at the time that I was able to start getting it. When it first came out, though, I had a lot of gear acquisition syndrome, temptation to get it. But I've never, besides Guitar Center, I have not used one, and lost that temptation once I got the KO2. So that's why I don't have Roland SP404. But I do love Roland as a company, and I wouldn't mind using one, and even maybe secondhand getting one down the line. But yeah, that's your answer for that. Alex Yala, thanks for your participation, by the way. I'm gonna read all the comments. I want an ASR 10 for the strip back workflow and the sound quality. I'm just really into sound quality nowadays over everything. Okay, we could talk about that. The sampling workflow is real rough and rugged, and I love the thought of the ASR 10. I've got the 404 MK2 and I love it for a master bus. I'm fully gassed, bro. Yeah, man. Tell me about it. We all are, man. I'm not afraid to admit that I love gear, and if I had an unlimited budget, I'd probably be drowning in gear. But obviously, because of space and because of life, I've come to find ways to cope with gear acquisition syndrome. Now I know why they just skip that and call it gas, right? But a lot of people coming through might be like, gas? What this guy having stomach issues, you know? No. In reality, it's more of like redundancy for me, and then also mastery, right? Like in an attempt to continue to master my gear, I just try not to add too much at a time. And then when I do get something, it's very, very, very intentional. It's very thought out. As far as the things you mentioned, you want the ASR 10 for, it makes sense. Sound quality, yes. Is it magical? I'm in the camp of the ASR 10 is a beautiful sounding sampler. Do not get me wrong. I do not hear as much the, oh my God, everything that goes through the ASR 10 is like magic. No, I do think that the effects are amazing, and that has a lot to do with the sound of the ASR 10. But to me, at 44 kilohertz and 16-bit, what you put in is what comes out of the ASR 10. I don't think there's anything magical about it per se, but it is a very honest sampler. It does have a very stripped back workflow and allows you to focus on what you're doing. Even just having a button that's called sample, you know, like, it's very direct. It doesn't beat around the bush like the 404 MK2. There's a lot of menu diving with that, and there's a lot of menu diving with the 2000 XL also. So everything like for the ASR 10 is on the faceplate of it. So there's not a lot of like menu. There is menus inside of it, but it's very direct. Where you want to go, you could usually see the fine print, if you will. I don't know where you get stripped back workflow. Nino, yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily stripped back because, you know, you could go into the envelopes, but a lot of it, like on a basic level, let's say, you hit sample, you pick where you're going to sample, instruments are there. That's if you're using it in that way, right? We talked about that. It's a tedious and slow workflow. Yes, anything in the 90s is going to be slow. Command amp, when I go into normalized gain, it takes a while. And if you want to lower the bit rate, it's going to take a while. If you want to time stretch a lot of these machines, sometimes like the 2000 XL, is going to take a while. So you better be ready to have a lot of patience. Yeah, slow and thoughtful. Sometimes it's like, you know, when you said, and I emphasized the thought of it, the thought of the ASR 10, sometimes the thought of what we want, the reality is different when you start working on these machines. You could see why my first videos on this channel were some over an hour when I'm trying to explain a simple concept. Nino, speaking as someone who works in the ASR solely, meaning no triggers, no external slaving, no pre-treated samples, no warp time stretch, no perfect loops, etc. Sequencer and programming sucks. I don't care what anyone says. If you use better sequencers, it's just what it is. You're right. And Nino is a bit opposite, not opposite, I would say, but he's different because he doesn't use hybrid like I do. I do many times treat my samples, especially when on this page, because I'm trying to show things that are possible without going through that tediousness that Nino is talking about, and he's absolutely right. And I, you know, knowing that he's a user, because we've chatted a lot on this channel, I know that he knows what he's talking about. And I was in your camp at one time, Alex Yala, and this is not to be divisive or, you know, I'm not picking sides. As a user myself, and knowing Nino uses this thing probably in a more loyal way than I do, by just working slowly on it, the thought of the ASR 10 and the gas of it sometimes makes you ignore all the points that he's making, which are true. The ASR 10 could be very slow, it could be very clunky, And there's been times that it's just frozen up on me or overheated, right? And then you lose a lot of your work. Saving sucks on the ASR10. Let's talk about the file management of the ASR10, which I still got to get Nino to give me a little crash course on that, because the way the ASR10 saves and creates like multiple layers of files is just, it doesn't make sense, to the point that anything I make that I think is dope on the ASR10, I try to immediately, like scared, put it into the computer because I'm afraid of losing it. And if you're willing to live like that, like with that kind of like anxiety when you work, then you know you're a masochist, and we all are. If you work with any of these old machines, you kind of are. This world needs a hero. What's good, my brother? What's good? What's good? And correct me if I call somebody brother and you're not a brother, like you're a girl or whatever, female. Because I just assume that most audio nerds that like samplers are, you know, bros, but I've seen girls killing it. I hear you, Nino Chacho. It's just I work with samples a lot. Besides the 404 MK2, do you work with any other samplers or any vintage samplers? Because the 404 MK2 is modern, is a newer sampler, I would say. Nothing wrong with hybrid or dual machines. Just saying how the ASR is on its own as a machine is a fair picture. Not for sure, Nino, for sure. And it's important to have these discussions, you know, like I said, friendly discussions, because sometimes when you're about to buy something, if you don't speak to the people that actually work with these things on a day-to-day basis, you won't know what to look out for and what the frustrations are. I could tell that's something, like, instead of hyping up the ASR10, because first of all, I'll never get rid of it, but it's not perfect. Let's be honest. It's not a perfect keyboard. There's a lot of things that are not comfortable about working with it. And anybody that's here that has one could tell you. And I don't consider myself an authority on it. I'm a student of the ASR10, probably will be for my whole life. And there's a lot of people that have way more knowledge and experience working with these things than I do. So I respect their opinion, especially if they put in that time. And catching up with what Nino was saying, like the 4K, for example, amazing, but it's the slowest chopping machine I've ever used in my life. I can cut on racks faster than the 4K can, but everything else is amazing. So you make that compromise, I'm assuming. I'm hybrid for sure, but the sounds for me, all analog synths, etc. Yeah. Do you use analog keyboards as well, synthesizers? And don't mind sharing, man. Share what your setup is, if you don't mind. That way we could know, like, the context of your statements. I use everything samples, all vinyl, and I sample every single sound into the machine, every single beat, every hat, kick, snare, hat, chop, instrument, stab, etc. So I feel you. Yeah, Nino, that's the way. That's the way to go, man. That's the way to work. And I work like that too when I'm not streaming, and when I don't have a broken turntable like I do right now. I'm turntable-less, and I feel like I don't even like. To be honest, I don't even like working on my samplers when I don't have a turntable. So they be off unless I'm, again, trying to show something on this channel. Let me see. Keep catching up, man. You guys are active today, man. It's a big paragraphs, man. I love it. I love it. It shows the growth of the channel and the community and the discourses that we have here. Important conversations to have. All right. This world needs a hero. Been using the Live 3 in controller mode with the new desktop MPC. Is that the new XL that you're talking about? Oh no, desktop MPC software, my bad. Creating songs from scratch and using all my VSTs is fire. Finding new life in the sequencer within the Live 3. And the Live 3 is the most recent Live, right? That one's with the multi-pad on one pad. It has like 4 corners. You're using it in controller mode though, so you're choosing not to use the standalone, I'm guessing because you got more access to VSTs, hero, if that's correct. And please, don't hold it against me if I shorten your username. The step edit sucks in the ASR. That's a fact. That's my biggest hate for it. Yeah. The MPC 2000 XL is often slaved to it, as Nino mentioned that he doesn't do that. But if you see old videos, again, that are popular, Kanye using the classic 2000 classic slaved to the ASR 10 was because the sequencer sucked and is more powerful on the MPC 2000 to use Akai's sequencer, which was always looked at as way more powerful than that of the ASR. Now, people will say the ASR 10 is not a bad sequencer and it does have its own feel to it, aka the Jake 1, main use case that he also uses just ASR by itself. I remember seeing a video of him with a MPC, and he's like, well, I got it because they say the sequencer sucks and I never got around to slaving it. So the 2000 XL was just collecting dust because the ASR became his main weapon of choice, and it's just like, nah, I'm not using an extra thing with it. I got my ASR after the MPC 2000 XL because I felt like the 2000 XL can't handle any melodic samples. I can't create a piano sound that's like 61 keys on a drum on the ASR. I mean on the MPC 2000 XL. That makes sense. Nino, I feel that, bro. I mean, Alex Yala, Nino, I feel that, bro. Pause. I have the Push 3 standalone and I like it, but man, the sounds are just not the same. Damn, I always wanted the Push 3, bro. So I wonder what you don't like about it. I like it because I love Ableton, and I heard it's the most powerful, obviously, controller you could get for Ableton, and also gives you that standalone feel. So that's something that I would get stepping into a more modern only workflow. But let me know what you don't like about the Push. Is it the sound or just the machine, like the way it's laid out? Like what don't you dig about it? You can't move ticks to adjust and hear it. You delete the entry, dial in the next, paste it, and then back out an addition and hear. Either commit or redo over and over. Yep, that sounds like my life. Either commit or do it over and over. That's the story of the MPC, old ones, and the ASR. If you're not ready to, like, you messed up and you got to redo everything, you're not built for this vintage sampler lifestyle, because it is frustrating and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of patience, a lot of do-overs. If you could play the sequence without committing like an MPC, list edit and nudge, then you'd be fine. But you have to actually go all the way out of the menu and commit or not. Yeah, man, that's true. I feel sound is everything. Moog Mother, Berry Pro 1, Model D, Moog Sub. Yes, sir. Nah, Alex Yala, you're not, and that's why I say, man, it's a friendly counter argument. And those are all dope pieces, and I'm all about audio, man. Like, don't get me started, bro. I'm a audio, like, I'm down to the cables. Like, my cables gotta be Canary or Mogami. Signal flow, everything has to make sense. Clean power. The first thing I would do when building a studio was always get clean power, and then from there, every cable, anything that touches the audio is just quality from signal flow. That's what I was taught first and foremost. Signal flow. My preamp of choice, and I only have one preamp in my studio right now, is the BAE 1073 channel strip. So it's the preamp with EQ. For those that know, And I am a proud owner of the TubeTech CO1B compressor, which I think is the best vocal compressor in the game. Not the best compressor, period, but the best vocal compressor for sure. I'm gonna catch up to the chat. And then from there, I'm going into the UAD Apollo Solo, which is by no means the best interface in the game. It's just something that I had to get as a budget option because I sold my RME UFX Plus, which was, to me, the best interface I've ever owned. And that was mattied up via Matty. For those that know what Matty is, we can talk about that as well. but I was using that with an Orion 32 Antelope Audio, which is, to me, one of the best converters that I've ever used. And yeah, but that is not currently my setup. Currently my setup is Mogami and Canary cables going into the BAE. My tube tech is currently broken. My samplers and my microphone are currently going to this Yamaha MG12 without the effects, because I hate digital stuff on analog stuff. It's just further headaches down the line. And the outputs of the Yamaha are going line into the Apollo. But yeah, I try to use all quality stuff, and I'm a very, very big on signal flow. Let me catch up. Where was I? I know, the Moog thing. Here to boost the community. Yes, that's where I was. I also solved the loop around bug, but they couldn't solve, by the way. Freeplay, I will fill you in secretly. Okay. Yeah, let me know, man. Feel free to, I think I have my email up. I just opened my DMs on Instagram. I don't know if that's, for better or worse. Freeplay is my Instagram handle. And then my email is freeplayloops@gmail.com. Man, I'm so lost. I so wanted the ASR 10, but even ChatGPT said get the MPC Key 61. Yeah, man. Well, this is the thing, brother. It's like, you gotta be ready. Like, if you get the ASR 10, first of all, be ready for everything that Nino has mentioned. I also have a video that is not for you to, I'm not promoting it, but I just talk about vintage samplers in like 2024. Those things still apply. And every year that we talk about vintage samplers, it's 2026 now. So the ASR 10 is nearing 30 years. And you might get one that's 30 years old, because I think 94 was when they started making the ASR 10. You're not going to be able to service it. You have no warranty. Repairs could be very expensive. There are no techs like that are official besides the Sonic. And I don't know how old he is and how long he'll be around. Parts are not easy to come by, etc. So there's a lot of negative things that come with being an ASR 10 owner. So besides the price point to get into one nowadays, which is over $1,000, I would have to argue that for $1,000, you could get something that's more secure. And if you're not already an ASR 10 user, then you're not getting a lot of benefits. I'm probably not, not doing good on driving up the price of mine by saying that, but I just don't think it would make sense for somebody in 2026 that has never used one to get one simply for the lore of the ASR 10. I'm on that camp, and it's not because I don't want people buying it. The bug ASR users have cried about notoriously for years about the one. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to talk about what that bug is if you want. You don't have to say what the secret workaround is that you have, but maybe elaborate a bit on what's the bug. I probably know what you're talking about, but I just want, make sure. I rocked the Oberheim T05 into the Chroma console, then into Live 3. Yeah, man, I've heard great things about the T05. Oberheim stuff is amazing, obviously. They were bought out, I think, by Sequential. But Oberheim, and I think it's Bob Oberheim, the creator of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Amazing synthesizer creator, engineer. I would really like to try a Push 3. I would love to try a Push 2 or a 3. I even like wanted the 2. It's just the modern sound converters in the Push don't crack. You got to EQ VST or put in the DAW to get it cracking sound waves. Yeah, I mean, but the ASR 10 is not that crunchy, I would say. I think if you got Sound Toys and you put a decapitator on it, there was that dude that worked with Lana Del Rey. His name slips my mind. White dude. Crazy producer, by the way. He worked with Cuddy also. He was an ASR 10 user, and he mentioned that Decapitator was like the replacement for him not having the ASR 10 and moving on to a different workflow. So there is a way, and it's not that hard to get the sound. It's just the work that you have to put in to even get it. You know, it's a lot of people. If you don't have that time and you're trying to be productive and you're a working producer, if you make money in the music industry, like the ASR 10 is like a pedal. It's not gonna be your main workhorse unless you're Kanye, obviously. But he also has a squad, and they're working on FL, Ableton, everything. I know you all audio. That's why I rock with your channel, bro. Thank you, my brother. Yes, I'm a professional audio engineer and mix engineer and creator, an artist, a producer, etc. But yeah, I come from the commercial studio world here in New York City. First as an intern, and then eventually as a recording engineer. There's no problem using something to color your beats when you're done, or sounds on way into modern machines too. Yeah, and I've seen people use that Electron analog heat box, and also obviously the Chroma console. I've seen that Soyuz. Have you guys seen that one too? I think I saw that on the reverb.com like YouTube channel, where it's like 2 inputs that you could put on your mono sampler and it colors it. How do people feel about that? Lawrence, what up, my bro? 93, actually 92, and I think, yeah, the end of 92 is when they started making the ASR, right? Because up until then, it was the EP16 and then the 16 plus. I'm going to look at the thing, the birth year on my ASR. So my ASR has a birth date of November 30th, 1995. So there you go. The red line converters in the Scarlett 1816 4th generation sound amazing with my guitar. Well, a lot of that could be attributed to, if they never change anything, to Rupert Neve. Rupert Neve started Focusrite, if I'm not mistaken, and then sold it off. But whether or not they kept his topology, which is the design of the preamps, I know the Focusrite ISA 1s or whatever that line was, they're pretty ugly. They're ugly looking, but they sound amazing. I don't know if Focusrite Scarlett kept that topology or the converters, because a lot of the converters have to do with the transformers you use or don't use, and the you know, like what op amps you're using. Basically components. I would say the components are what give something quality sound, and that's why they have class, right? So you'll see some compressors and some audio equipment say class A, class B. Obviously class A is top of the top, hand wired versus machine wired or printed on a board. A lot of these vintage and even things that are clones, like my BAE 1073 is a clone of a 1073. A lot of these new things that are cloning old things are hand wired. So somebody, an engineer, a tech, took time to solder this piece by piece. It wasn't machine made in, like, you know, China or whatever country they make these things at. Even SSL is being made in China now, and that was a UK company that used to hand wire everything and make everything in the UK. Still do for some of their flagship items, I believe, but things that are printed on a PCB board or whatever are not the same quality, in my opinion, as hand wired and using high components. Even the Marinair transformers, you can't find those Neve 1073s. Like, you gotta buy them, new old stock NOS. Tubes, also another thing that will change and color your sound. The bug is when you make a beat and it skips the downbeat when it comes back to the one of the sequence. Oh yeah, I've had that. That happens. Isn't that like an automatic like program that is being added to the ASR sometimes? I don't know. I think I also kind of figured it out. ASR 10 sound is also extremely overblown, like Free says. The only thing the ASR has is it's an actual sampler. It has processing power to make whole new stuff when you get things in it. Yeah, the trans wave is what makes it powerful, in my opinion. That's the best thing about it. In my opinion, the better machine for that sound is the EPS 16 or the 16 Plus or the Classic. Yes, I agree, Nino. Yo, A Major, what's up, my bro? Thank you for coming through, brother. Your videos, bro, of you playing the piano are amazing, man. I watched a few of them, bro. Inspirational. You're a beast. Get your EPS Classic. It's same workflow as the ASR 10. They have an immediate sound. Yep. Once you find you like and use it, hunt for an ASR 10 if you think it's worth it to you. I agree. I was on the hunt for a 16 Plus because I think that has a stripped back workflow. The ASR 10 is not stripped back. I think they try to put too much in the ASR 10. And that's why it overheats, probably, right? Like, that's what people say. But I think the 16 Plus was like the perfect version of that stripped back workflow, that sound, that simplicity. And I do agree, like, it's a better deal. I was gonna get one in Rhode Island, man. I saw one for cheap, man, and it was beautiful. Great condition. If you have 16 megabyte memory expansion and make beats under 2 minutes like I do, you can just sample your whole beat into the ASR 10 for pre-mastering treatment. All my beats are under a minute though. Yeah, it's a great color box, man. You could just run it through, and then once you make the beat in the box, you could take it into the ASR 10, sample it, and print it back. That's dope. Yeah, you could get a Classic, man, and get yourself acquainted with it. The Mirage is like a lot of color, but it's not the same workflow. I appreciate the insight. I will look into the 16 Plus. You're gonna save a lot of money and you're gonna get the same thing, I think. I'm not convincing you to do either. The community is obviously like making their suggestions based on their experience too, because I don't tell people where to put their money. Sometimes I've experienced that if you don't get the thing that you want, you're gonna get something to try to scratch that itch, and you're still gonna end up getting the ASR. So might as well bite the bullet. If you're waking up like me, and I used to like wake up in the middle of the night and Craigslist ASR 10 and Sonic until I found the one that made sense for me. And that lasted for like almost a year of me trying to find an ASR. So I knew I was obsessed and I needed to like get one and be done with it. I couldn't get like a MPC Key 61 knowing that I was obsessed with the ASR 10 already. So, but I was willing to put in that time. I was to tell you how crazy I was about the ASR 10. I used to read the manual before I owned it. I used to just read it because I knew I would have one day. The Classic is cheap and instantly that crunch if you want that. Yeah, man. The 16 and the Classic, if it's sound wise, and I think even I don't know Daydream, but Daydream Sound, he's an expert on the ASR and the Sonic stuff. He's been putting in way more work in that, way more time than I have, because I've had mine since 2014, around there. That's when I got my ASR. I think I said 2012 one time on the channel, but if I'm not mistaken, I got it 2014. And yeah, he'll tell you the 16 and the classic and even the Mirage, which he owns, the rack mount I've seen on his channel, is way more color and character than the ASR 10. The ASR 10, they say, is a beautiful sounding sampler because it's so true to the source, you know? That wasn't the case back in 95, 94. Things that you put, like when you put a sound into a sampler back in that time, it always added artifacts like sample rate reduction of the SP1200, for example. What you put in wasn't what you were getting out. So for that to be the case with the ASR 10 without being so like flat, it still had oomph, but it was true to the source. It was like, whoa, we got things like the ASR 10 basically sounds like a CD. What you put in is what you get out. It's not, I wouldn't say colored. Daydream says warm, and I think that's more accurate. It is a warm sounding sampler because it sounds analog, like quote unquote. The way it distorts, it softens the peaks, I would say. But it's not a color, it's not a color box. The ASR 10 is not a color box. And you could argue with me all you want. I've done it. I've done it on the last stream. I sampled the loop from it sounded just like the MPC. The MPC sounded the same as the ASR. You could get mad technical. We could print the wave and go put it through a oscilloscope, but you don't need to. Use your ears. Yes, sir. You're more than welcome, Alex Yala, to come by here whenever you want and ask any and all questions, man. We got your back, brother. We're not telling you to sway you from it. We're just telling you the truth so that you don't just fall in love with the thought of it without considering all factors about what it takes to be an ASR 10 owner and user, not just an owner, because I've seen them collecting dust in a lot of people's studio or being used just as a MIDI keyboard, believe it or not. They even have the ASR 10 module, which is dope. The rack mount, you mean, Major? My dirt box is the Akai Remix 16. I know what I have to look it up to see. I know what that is. I've seen it. Let me open up a tab. Akai Remix. Is that the black the black and blue thing? The Remix 16. Let me see images. Yeah. Damn. I got like a gear Bible in my head. That is the thing I was thinking about, Nino. Never used one, but I know what it is, and I would love that stuff. I love any Akai stuff, vintage. I've thought about getting the smaller, that little small sampler. I know you know which one I'm talking about. That some people get from Akai also. I run stuff into that if I want dirty, not the ASR, then run to the ASR, right? Yeah, Eric Sermon was created, all of those hits in the beginning with the Roland W30. He still uses it, by the way. Now he makes all his music on the motif. He also uses the Roland W30, I think. When he was working with Ye recently, I heard that he got back on the W30. It does have a sound and a way of working. Thank you, my brother. Why are you thanking me? Thank you for putting us onto game, bro, because you work in a unique way on the ASR, so your opinion is like highly valued here. I'm OCD. I've done the nose. Oh, you've done the nose. I won't do the nose. I trust my ears. I don't need to. And I love debunking like all this like lore of certain things, especially the things that I've come across and used, whether it be certain microphones, certain speakers and monitors, things that people like obsess about. When, like, if you guys see, I got the MDR 7506s, not just because Andrew Sheps said that he mixes on these, although I value his expert opinion, but when I use these are like mini NS10s in my ears. And even though the NS10s suck, they don't sound good, I like the Sonys. And I have 3 what is it, Bear Dynamics, the one with the plushy things, and I don't really like those, man. They're comfortable, but they hurt my ears after a while. These don't. So these are cheaper, and I like them better. I just, I don't trust I'm not gonna get the Audis, and if you have them, again, I'm not knocking on it. Yeah, the S20, that's what I was talking about. But I'm not knocking those $1,000 headphones or the Focal headphones, even though I have the Focal monitors. I just know, you don't need that. For me, I don't need that just because of the hype. I'm not getting it. I'm getting what works for me, and I've tried these different things. People be like, oh, NS10s, but then they get them and they're like, oh, they sound like crap. Why everybody has NS10s? Because you don't know the use case of it. It's a tool, man. It's a tool. It's the same sampler as the S20, the remix, I guess you're talking about. Yeah, the remix. But the remix can beat match. I'm guessing it probably autocorrect got you right there. And use faders like a DJ thing. It makes cool loops of samples while I'm listening. They busted the S20 down to be a cheaper option of the remix, but it's same components and structure. That makes sense. And there's a black S20 too that looks fire. I was so tempted to get the S20 many a times. Never pulled the plug or the trigger. Pulled the trigger on that. Also, I got the remix on a steel. Yeah, bro. Let's not talk about you and steels, bro. You be getting things for dirt cheap over here, bro. I paid $250 and it has SCSI installed though, which most don't even know it can, and that's worth $800 alone. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna call you Nino the Scalper, bro. Anybody wants cheap equipment, bro? Not cheap, but things for the low. Y'all better become friends with this guy, man. He said prices on things here that I'm just like, bro. I would have bought 10 of them, like I told you last time. I would have bought 10. S20 black is the Japan model, but same thing as well. Okay, so they started making them in China then after. Not surprised. Yeah, man. Those things have color for days, man. If we're talking about color. Nino says, I'm definitely the headhunter. Don't buy anything without telling me. I'll set the traps. I got you. I love it, bro. I love it, man. Yeah, man. When it comes to the prices, bro, I wish you would. At that point, it would just become viral. Everybody will probably mess the prices up, bro. But that's an art in and of itself, bro. Knowing how to get gear for the right price and even for the low. They're all made in Japan. The black was just exclusive. Okay, I get it. It was exclusive release in Japan. Gray is US and EU. Okay, makes sense. Thank you, bro. Bro, this channel, bro, without your participation amongst others, and especially you recently, bro, is I wouldn't have the validity of being able to talk on these subjects, bro, because I know about it. Even when you said remix, I opened up and I'm like, yeah, is that the black with the blue font? I know, but you be knowing, and I need that, man. I need that in my community. You could be anywhere else, bro. Glad you're here. Yeah, I flipped the gear and used it to buy my own. I used to do that. That's why I know so much. I don't come out of pocket. Nah, bro, you don't have to. You're using leverage, bro. You're using gears like stocks. That's fire, bro. And that's the right way to do it, too. That way you're not, burning through your 4-year-old's college fund, man, buying samplers. You just flip it, and then you get to try stuff all the time. You get to try stuff and then sell it, buy something else. That's fire, bro. I like that. I like that you're able to also know what a good deal is, because a lot of people just like the thought, and there's nothing wrong. Again, Alex Yala is incredible that you said that, and I'm gonna keep shouting you out in support, because there's a lot of people like yourself that are just I hate those clickbait videos that are this is why you should have an ASR 10. No, we're gonna be honest here and tell you. Yeah, Nino is experienced. Nino is an expert, I would say. Obviously, that's my humble opinion, because he put in that work and that time, and knows his gear, and knows, like, from what I've seen, we've had long convos here. He knows the pros and the cons of what he's getting. He don't just like put, like, you know, when people like gas something up so much just because they wasted their money on it. I see that all the time. People justifying things like, nah, I'm gonna tell you, I love this, but this is what's wrong with it. And people that are getting into it should know that before like blindly just saying, oh yeah, we all gonna have an ASR. It's not for everybody, man. It's not for everybody. And you gotta be honest with yourself. You wanna just take a picture with it? Like, people used to come to my studio, not my studio, but studios that I worked in. They'd be like, yo, take me a pic right here in front of the mic. And then they go grab a condenser mic like this, handheld. Or like not know like where the pop filter is supposed to go, and like look stupid because they just wanna front. There's a lot of people that want to front with an ASR. They want to front with an MPC, but they don't know what they getting themselves into or even how to use it. I had somebody make me bring a MPC one time to one of their videos, or like making of, and yo, dude was acting like he was the one using the MPC, bro. Clown. Looking like a whole clown, bro. You just fronting for the gram, bro. You don't know how to use these tools. ST224 for sound is goated. I don't like the anti-aliens filter on the S20 as much. Yeah, the S20 was wasn't it meant for like DJs to trigger samples? It wasn't really meant to be a sampler per se. It was kind of like a sample trigger. Like, it could hold some samples and then you just hit a button. But you know how hip hop do. We don't use it for what it's made. Nino, I also only buy things for myself. I research and wait on for a year or so. That's a great thing to do. Everybody take heed, take notes. I mean, I never impulse purchase. It has to be on the list. I never sell my own gear after. I keep everything I buy for me. Facts. That's how I am, bro. I research for months. Sometimes, not maybe a year. For the ASR 10, I had to research for years because I was a broke, like, in my early 20s. I try and help guys get the gear that they want and save you money wasted. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yo, be nice to this guy, bro. Be nice to Nino, bro. He's valuable. Yeah, confirmation bias is like sunk cost fallacy. Some will boast on how good the gear is just to justify their own purchase, even though secretly they don't like. I see that with all these new gear owners. They're always trying to justify getting the newest shiny thing. There's so many samplers other than the same 5 everyone mentions. Problem is, people don't actually know or say what they're wanting from the machine. That's why I asked what he wanted from it or what attracted him. Sometimes as an artist, as a producer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you wanna wear the J's, bro, because Jordan's your favorite basketball player. You feel like him, that's what they're selling you. They're selling you that feeling. Actually want the slew of options is so open and you can spend so little money. You don't need an S950 for that sound. Yeah, the S950 is one of those too. And I would see that. I'm like, why is this price difference so much? And it's just because of hype. Like, people know that there's rack samplers that are better than the 950, and it's just like, nah, you gotta get that one because that's the one that DJ Premier used. Nah, bro. You're not hijacking, bro. I told you last time. We need you, bro. We need you. The day you stop showing up to the live stream, I'm gonna have nothing to talk about because I need experts in here. I was offered a S20 for my Sonic Wear sample track. Yeah, I know the Sonic Wear. That's newer, but it's fire. I didn't go for it though. Yeah, it's hard to trade stuff, man. Especially when you like what you have already. I was gonna talk about something and I literally like forgot while you guys were mentioning these things. Oh yeah, no. Well, I was gonna talk about the elephant in the room, man. The big elephant in the room. There's so many emus and other crazy cheap. I'm not trying to curse, so I'm not gonna read that. Cheap A options that you instantly get that old sound from. I'm looking at one on eBay for $100 right now. Yeah, bro. Shout out emu, bro. I think people sleep on the emu. I mean, emu stuff sometimes could be very expensive. So I've always fantasized about working on a 1200. Never got to see one in person or lay my hands on it. That's one that I covet, along with the 60 and the 3000, which I know is not like, I don't need it and probably won't get used to working that way because I already landed on the 2000 XL. So just going backwards for me at this point. But those are little things that I have gas about. The 3000 especially, I love the size and the look of it. I try and help the dog guys because they want to jump straight to I need an SP. Look at me talking about this SP 1200. Yeah, bro. It's just to me, it's a beautiful looking machine. Anybody in the chat own a 1200 or used to own a 1200? Nino, probably you did. I wouldn't be surprised. Emulator 3 is the coolest sounding machine ever. Is that the one that the Arturia stuff is based on, the Emulator 3, Nino? Its price is justified, but there's very few other machines that don't have some alternatives that are similar. A major, I still want an MV8800. That machine was ahead of its time, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, shout out to RZA, bro, right? He's the one that popularized that machine. And Roland MV8800, for those that don't know what A major is talking about. And bro, like, I hope this doesn't offend you, bro, but I think that the MV8800 is an ugly machine. Along with the 4000, and I said it before, and that's Nino's favorite MPC. So I know you guys won't get sensitive about it. I just don't like the way those two samplers look. Albeit they are ahead of its time, both of them, and amazing. But for me, I'm a shallow sampler owner. I like the way things look for me, the way that I like how it looks. Doesn't mean you don't like how it looks. The Emax is getting up there, but still attainable. Okay, yeah, that's the one that I've heard of more, the Emu Emax. I've seen the racked version of it. I believe they also, yeah, they have a keyboard. I've seen the keyboard as well with the purple font on it. Not me, never had a 1200. I think it's cool, but it does one thing and that's it. That's true. But seeing what's his name on it all the time makes me like, damn. Not his name is slipping my mind. My boy used to work with him a lot. Hip hop legend. When I get the name, it's gonna come. MV8800 is insane. It's right there with the 4K. Yeah. So you see, they have the same like design, kind of like. It looks like it came out of the same time period, but A major, it's ugly for sure. But that 4000 is a beast. Yes, sir. I said it before. Easy Mo B, yeah. And shout out to my boy Fuego. He worked with Easy Mo B a lot at the studio in Brooklyn. But yeah, seeing Easy Mo B do those classics for Biggie and Big L, it's just like, and also Ski Beats, obviously. It's just like that if that doesn't make you want a 1200, it's like, not that you're gonna do things the way they did it, because it's about the user, right? It's always the Indian, not the arrow, as they say. But yeah, I usually get brain fog on names when I'm talking about producers on this channel, but okay. Easy the only dude who can do Tupac records. Then he produced all of Miles Davis album. Yeah, bro. Come on, man. I never got the chance to meet him in person, bro, but he's one of the top of the top, man. But he used a 952. That's the problem. He got the extra sample time. And a lot of people, even Ski Beats, when he was showing how he made that presence, he was triggering it from a 950. He was triggering this 1200. He was triggering the 950 from the 1200. So you get the swing, I guess, and the bop of the 1200. Some of the drums are sampled on there, of course. And then you get the extra sample time to have samples on the 950. And that was how the 60 was meant to be used too. You were supposed to not like sample everything on there, but sometimes you don't have money to get both. So hip hop is like, yo, we're gonna speed up the vinyl and try to cram everything into the 60. But a lot of Roger Lynn's vision was to trigger it from a rack, especially triggering melodic. Like, yeah, put one hits on the MPC pads, but you weren't supposed to be sampling musical phrases into these machines until, hip hop came around, and that's how it was being used by the culture. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, dinner's ready. But yeah, man, sorry for the interruption. Life is happening as this is happening as well, obviously. You have to use a 950 because it has more time. Yeah, the SP is 10 seconds. Exactly. So then the way around it was to speed up the records and then pitch it back down, but that would give it the sonics. And it was a workaround. But it was definitely not how it was intended. Primo used the 60 on the 950 also. He still didn't use the drums on the 60. It was usually the 950. Yeah. Makes sense. And I was looking at getting a rack before getting the ASR 10. When I was looking at the limitations of sampling, like for example, right? Like I wanted to sample a one-shot piano and create an instrument. The ASR 10 is very easy to do that on, and it's created for things just like that. But the MPC 2000 XL is not created to make a program of a grand piano, but the rack mount units are. And then that's when I started realizing, like, oh, okay, like this was like, that's why there's rack units. And the rack units are not just like a rack version of the drum pad version. They're actually more powerful than the drum pad, like the MPCs, because the MPC was made for programming, for sequencing, and for drum one shots, not for musical phrases or to create drum like instrument programs. So knowing the ethos of what Akai was doing is very important when you're getting into these samplers, because once I exhausted the limit of what my sampler could do, that's when I started looking into like, oh, that's why a lot of people pair the 2000 XL with the ASR 10. Oh, that's why the SP1200 usually has a 950 sitting under it. Oh, that's why the MPC 60 or the 62 usually has another rack mount unit with, with the user, etc., etc. But if you know, obviously. But for those that don't, and you're trying to get something like that, then just know, like, a lot of these things require you, getting expansions for it because of the limitations, if you want certain things to be done. Otherwise, you're trying to make it do something that it can't. Because the pitch level on the MPC 2000 XL is nothing like what you can do when you create a program on, like, let's say a S3000 XL. Even though I haven't used any of the Akai samplers, so bear in mind when I say general statements like that. Easy worked in a very limited way, but he made it work. Made all those classics that we love. Like you said, it's not the machine, it's the user behind it. Yeah. Nah, he'll tell you. I mean, his channel is a gold mine, man. and all of hip hop, that's why the sped up sample thing, it ended up being that these things gave it character, because anytime you pitch something up, pitch it back down, you see sample makers do that with Wave's sound shifter, like pitching it up 12 semitones, pitching it back down, printing it, pitching it back down, stretching it. So that's character. But it wasn't just because they were trying to get a vintage sounding sound. It's because they didn't have sample time. They wanted that's why every producer from back in the day always upgraded their samplers, because they wanted a clean sound. That's what you guys don't get. A lot of us and a lot of people that come into this world are chasing that sound that existed back then, when the producers that were living in that moment were trying to escape that. They were like, yo, these samplers, they're not great. Correct, the MPCs are drum machines with a sample engine. The racks are samplers. That's why I'm always trying to show the distinction. Exception is the 4K that is actually both. Thank you, Nino. Yes. People think Akai S3000 is MPC 3000 but no pass, and that couldn't be further. Yo, I saw that on Instagram the other day and I got mad. I wanted you to come like flying into the comment section and just like shut everybody up. The chipmunk thing happened with ASR because it pitched things up in a way that wasn't as annoying. Yeah, and people were milking that, When things become trendy, you're gonna hear that chop snare on everything after Chief Keef got popular, and the same thing with Kanye or Ye, making that popular. And Bink was actually like credited as being one of the first to do the soul pitch up thing, and then Just Blaze, according to Bink, copied him, and that's also an argument for another day. The key groups on a rack sampler was a similar workaround to an ASR. You can take 5 sounds as one sample in a row, make a key group, then edit start-stop points to get the hits without more memory. Yeah, I've heard about that. Again, I haven't worked on a rack, but I've heard about the key groups and the programs that you make on the racks. And yes, Preem, like, he's a big advocate for like talking about how he used it. Mainly, he would create his groups and his programs on the 950. Yeah. Nah, man, that was the limitations. And then the copy parameters only thing on the ASR was a godsend because of the way that it allocated memory. Yeah, so on the ASR and other samplers, you can hit 45 semitones without breaking up and like things sounding weird. Where MPC only has like that 16 levels, and even like you said, after 14, it sounds not that good. So that I don't have to say a curse word, but it don't sound good. That's why I was looking at like, man, now I'm hitting a wall. I can't just take a one note thing, loop it, and make a pad like you could on an ASR. Yeah, I would I would suggest those that are looking for a powerful sampler to avoid an MPC, unless you really, really, really need the pads. Like, the rack units are infinitely more powerful than any of these drum machines or MIDI. MIDI production centers. Just going through the chat. Some comments. I know last time, if you're in here, there's a guy or a girl that uses the name Freedom, spelled like D-U-M-B. I don't know if YouTube is filtering out your comments because of the name. I'm not sure, but shout out to you. I know that I disregarded your comments last time. That's not something that I did, because I have my comments like let me see, I put all messages usually, and I don't filter out curses or anything like that. And I've yet to have to, obviously moderate or move anyone, because everybody here is mad chill. But sorry, man. Sorry about, if you felt ignored. I saw it after, but I just wanted to say that it could be because of your username. But welcome. I know you participate a lot in the channel, so I just wanted to acknowledge that real quick while we still getting some comments coming through. Yeah, obviously, as you could tell from the title, this is a check-in. Not gonna be making a beat right now. I gotta have dinner. Today has been a cleaning day for me. I've been working outside on the yard and helping around the house. But I wanted to get on here because I wanted to check in with you guys, talk to you guys. I did want to talk about these new NPCs that just came out, man. I know this channel, we don't like to, I don't like to put anything down. Like I said, I support anybody that's making musical instruments, but I don't know how you guys feel about these new releases, man. I'll hold off on giving my opinion. Obviously, you guys will probably already know how I feel, but we could talk about that if that's of interest. I just don't want to be clickbait heaven and be like, yeah, this is a discussion on that. No. I like that Alex Yala came in and asked about the ASR 10, and we were able to give hopefully some valuable feedback from real users of the ASR, which is what this channel is mostly about. Some feedback to make an informed decision. The fast records still work great in an ASR. I can use 78 RPM rotations per minute setting, for example, then pitch down hella semis to normal speed and get the added harmonics and roll off without it sounding underwater. Yeah, you know where else that works very well? On the KO2. There's a guy that did a whole thing on like creating pads on the KO2 by doing that. Do you guys have any suggestions on like a turntable? I'm in the market for a turntable, vinyl player. My cheap Gemini broke. So right now I have no way of listening to my vinyl collection. And sampling, which I hate sampling from my phone, and even though I do it on this channel, use what you got, but that's not how I like to look for samples. I work from usually vinyl direct to the sampler, and then I don't do any time stretching in the box. I try to figure out the original BPM of the samples I'm working with, or make it fit by chopping it into smaller pieces, and then from there make something. Like at least the stuff that I make that I'm like saying like, okay, I'm working on something. That's the way I go about it. I hit the record stores. They got record stores in New York for days, and I have a pretty decent collection of records. But yeah, if you guys got any suggestions on like what's a good turntable to have, I do want to get that 70 RPM, 78. I know the reloop turntables have been like highly regarded. I don't know if the Pioneer stuff is any good. I've had mixed feelings about their stuff, buying their stuff recently. I'm always ready to, listen to you guys, because I like real end user feedback when it comes to the stuff I get. I do a lot of research too, just like Nino does. What up, everybody, man? Let me know who's in here, where you guys are from, if you so feel inclined to say hello. Shout out your city if you haven't before. What brings you here? Are you a sampler enthusiast like a lot of us here? Are you just liking to know more about these things and don't even make music? Would love to know how you came across this community. It's a channel, yes, but I think it's a community, or at least that's how I view it, because it helps others understand the complexity of these machines. I haven't made a tech talk video in a long time, but if you watch any of the older videos, you'll see that I try my best to do my due diligence in understanding what I need to get from these machines. By no means consider myself an expert. It's hard to be an expert on such a complicated, or complex rather, sampler. But we're here and we try to teach each other or learn from each other. And every so often I've been coming on live. I've had some cook-up streams. I'll make sure to name the streams cook-ups when they are. And other times we just do a live chat, what I like to call a check-in. Beginning of the week, Monday, and we're here at the studio talking samplers, talking ASR 10, talking MPCs, talking old Akai stuff. Whatever comes up, we speak from experience. We like to say, and I say we because otherwise it's just me preaching to the choir, as they say. The involvement of everybody here. A Major Maryland in the house. I love to sample, but most of the time I like to make my own. I've been a workstation user for a long time. Love to work this way as a keyboardist. Yeah, man. And now I know more because I did go on your channel and I saw you were a motif user at one point, and maybe you moved on to something else, but because you're very proficient on the keys, I must say, a great keyboard player. I know a lot of keyboard players work this way, man. Shout out to my boy Rusty, wherever he is now. I remember going to his crib and he had the motif. I think it was the SXF, the 6 or the 8. I might be wrong, but I remember him showing me a whole production on the motif, and it was beautiful, man. And he's showing me how he programmed the drums, the keys, man, and the sound of the keys on those things, man, is amazing. Made me want to work that way too, and that's kind of why I've been all, like with the ASR and the MPC is different, but it's the same spirit of like, damn, I want to like, sounded like an orchestra was coming out of that thing. And like obviously a composition, right? Like everything it was a whole song arrangement he did. And that always, like, I was like, wow, that's something special to work that way. Lawrence 13, I just use an Audio-Technica ATL-P60X, cheap, no frills, and reliable. Okay, I've looked at that one before, but it's good to know that it's reliable, because that's my fear all the time. I know the 1200 or the Techniques is the quote unquote standard, but it's good to know that there's some options out there from other, you know, manufacturers that are just as good, and like you say, no frills. So I'll put that on my radar. And Major, just a I guess a question. Feel free to answer it if you want. But do you also, outside of having a workstation, a keyboard workstation, do you use samplers, like any other samplers, like a Kai or a Sonic, or do you mainly stick to the workstations? Yeah, facts, bro. Everything pretty much sounds radio ready coming out of the board. The AWM2 is a big part of why the Motif series sounds good. The instruments sound real. What is, and pardon my ignorance, I know I've worked with keyboardists that have used a Motif. I haven't worked on a Motif myself. I want a Motif eventually. The older ones, the X, is it the X6? Not the Mod X. I like the gray, I think the one that you have on your channel from, like, you know, a few years back. I don't know what the AWM2 is. Please enlighten us so that we have that in the chat. It'll be printed on the screen, and then that'll be information forever when I put this stream up. So see, that's why I like when you guys participate, because I learn and the community learns. Let me look up the Motif that I like. Yeah, it is the XF. I think I seen the no, it was the regular, like before they added the X, I believe. It was like the Motif 6 or whatever. Maybe it was called that. I just don't know enough about the one with the green screen on it. The Motif 6. It just says 6, but I know they had the 8 was bigger. But that's my favorite looking one and sounding one. I use the MPC Live with my boards connected to it. Which Live? The 2 or the 3? The 1 or the... Remember the MPC Touch? I was using my 2000 XL, but don't have it anymore. Oh, do you miss it? And why did you get rid of it? Did you just upgrade, or was it not useful anymore? AWM2 stands for Advanced Wave Memory. The samples were taken from real instrument. That's why they sound real. Makes sense. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. And I love knowing that, because I'll hold it in my memory forever. Yes, sir. A Major, if you guys haven't seen his channel, this dude is soulful on those keys, man. Thank you for that knowledge. And also, if you guys haven't checked him out, please do, because that's a keyboard player for real, for real. Yeah, man. I've always, like, I mean, that's Yamaha stuff, so I was also gonna go into Roland, the wormhole of Roland stuff, like the XV5080, the gold champagne, like talking about like how things look, like that's my rack mount, like that's my what is it, that North Star or whatever they call it. Oh, you got a Motif 6, Nino? Damn, bro, you got everything I want. I love the Motif 6, bro. That gray plus dark gray plus green LCD, bro. It's like, I don't know why, bro. That's like my era of technology. So it just connects with me, bro. That's what I mean by I like how certain things look. And then the new motifs, they might sound better, but I don't really like how, like the motif 6, that was the best looking motif to me. Again, this is personal. And I do go that far as to like, I like how certain things look. I've said it before. I got the ASR free when oh yeah, bro. I'm having I had a long weekend, man. So I did. You mentioned that on Thursday, I believe, when we talked. That's how you were able to get it. Yeah, that he gave it to you to like incentivize the deal. I remember now, and that's up on the stream. I'm sure the story we talked about it. Yeah. No, that was that era, man. You had to have the drum machine, the keyboard. So a lot of times it was the Holy Trinity, right? Like the Pharrell setup. You got the Triton, you got the ASR 10, and then on top of that, normally you had also an MPC. You know. I have all Yamaha boards in here. LOL. Yamaha Motif Classic, Yamaha XF, Yamaha Montage, Yamaha PSR, Yamaha MX49. Safe to say that you're a Yamaha lover. Nah, but Yamaha stuff sounds great, bro. Great company too. Some of, like, you know, in Latin music, Dominican Latin music, the Yamaha APX guitar is like the gold standard of that genre. And I had one before, a Yamaha APX 7A, and I love Yamaha stuff. And obviously the keyboards, like the Motif is by far like one of my favorite sounding workstations. I moved to an apartment. I couldn't use keyboards anymore, space wise. Then went all in on 2K sampling with records. Threw away all my piano training. Probably wasn't the smartest. Yeah, I was taking piano lessons at one point, and then I was like not too old. You're never too old to learn any instrument. But I was in my mid-20s, and I was taking piano lessons to learn theory, not to be like you know, a prodigy on it. And I just realized like I grasped what I needed to know on the keys as far as like creating chords and knowing what key I'm in, knowing the names of all the notes. Obviously it's not that hard. It's same notes repeating over and over. But I felt like I got what I needed to be a good producer. So nothing wrong with taking you know, piano training or continuing to do that no matter the age. But I did abandon continuing more training because I never felt like I would be like A major is on it, like, you know, proficient to move on it. Like guitar is kind of like my instrument, and before that I used to be an alto saxophone player in middle school, and I never continued with that. But yeah, being a producer is like, you know, you may not need you do need it, but sometimes you choose not to continue like being crazy on an instrument if you got what you needed. Shout out to the Yamaha A3000 rack sampler, since we are on the topic. Great effects and can do real-time bit reduction of external source. You can still find them for under 400. I'm telling you, man, this community is a gold mine. For those of you that come through here and decide to stay or come back and check the stream after, the people, my family that participates on this stream are adding value, sharing love, man, sharing things that could probably save you headaches and save you money. Come on, man. all I see is people promoting these new samplers and clickbait, and let me not. But yeah, man, like, thank you, Lawrence. That hasn't even been on my radar, and it is now, thanks to you, brother. Yeah, Rodney Jerkins too. Like, for example, you see him with, like, producing with racks on racks on racks, and the MPC 3000 back in the day, and a workstation. Like, that's how legends were making hits. All on boards, no DAW. Now he's on Logic from what I saw before, but the Wave was usually like a motif, or like the Korg have good workstations too, if I'm not mistaken. You could do beast things on them till this day, but people don't use them like that. I don't see a lot of people working that way. I do have a Roland Integra 7 module. Yeah, I saw Zaytoven with that one, but I haven't been using it much like before. I might sell it. I don't know. The Korg Kronos, that's the one I was mentioning when I said Korg. Kronos will probably be my last stop as far as boards is concerned. Yeah, I've seen the Kronos beast, bro. When I worked at Terminus, if you guys ever heard of it, it's defunct now. It turned into the Penthouse recording studio, but I interned and then worked at Terminus recording studio, and the owner used to be a beast on the Kronos, or showed me how beast the Kronos could be. You want to know the actual dream board, A Major? Nino's about to drop some gems. A300 similar to the SU700. Oh yeah, I've seen the SUs. I saw one at Guitar Center the other day, man. Oh, on the used section, I should have bought it. A4000 similar to SU7000. What's the dream board, bro? Oh, the Andromeda A6, bro. In Terminus, they had the Kronos and they had the Andromeda. If you have, so Terminus is the studio where all the Ryan Leslie cookups were made. I interned there, not when he was doing those videos, but you see him using an Andromeda in one of those like cookup videos. That's one of the studios that I came up in. Yeah, the Andromeda A6 is a beast. Is a beast, and people here because it's Alesis, but that was before I think Alesis was like associated with all that stuff. You see, right before you even mentioned that image, I told you, bro, Ryan Leslie. That's who I associate with that board, because I remember it. I remember it from those cookup videos, and I ended up working at that studio, man. Crazy full circle moment for me. The Andromeda was actually it was not working by the time I got to the studio. Like, it needed repair, so we never really used it by the time I got there. But all I always heard was like, yo, this thing is a beast. It's a beast of a synthesizer. And I guess it's also a workstation, but I never got to work on it, even though I got to see it almost every day I was interning at the stu. Yeah, but it's probably expensive for good reason, not like the Ensoniq Fismo. Is the Fismo good? Nino, let me know, man. Those things go for bread. Yeah, bro. Shout out Ryan Leslie, man. I'm sure he's the inspiration for a lot of us. Those cook-up videos were life-changing. Yeah. The thing is deeper than Atlantis, but if you learn it, you're in it. No, that's a lot of things, man. A lot of things. It's like the 4000, like you said. If you really put the time in to learn the 4000, you're gonna be able to do incredible things. But it's like a lot of people, the way that I see it, is almost 5,000 still. Wow, it's more expensive than an MPC 3000. I don't. Major, to my understanding, and I could be wrong. Ryan Leslie was just renting studio time, and they so happened to have that keyboard there because that wasn't owned by him. That was owned by the studio owner. And I'm not gonna say his name for privacy reasons, because he was a very private person, the owner. But I believe it was his board, and it was just a cook up. Like, you know, when these producers use studios and they have that board, he probably knew obviously how to use it, but I don't think it was that was a studio keyboard, if I'm not mistaken, because it was there when I went to intern, and it was, you know, that was the studio that was all being filmed in. So I doubt that he still uses it, because to my understanding, that wasn't his. So maybe that takes away some of the lore for you, but still a great keyboard nonetheless. But if you wanted it because he used it, maybe because he used it in that remake, but I think he was just using it because that's what the studio had. Yeah, kind of like these days, you know, you're walking into a studio, they're gonna have a prophet of some sort. They're gonna have a Moog grandmother in there. They're gonna have a Mellotron, the new one, in there. So you're gonna use it if you make a video in a studio that has that. Elise's Fusion is mad cheap for what it is and sounds great. Never seen that. Elise's Ion Engine with multi-track recording and sampling. Okay. Shout out to Elise's, man. I know a lot of people that use, you know, the cheaper end stuff with the MIDI keyboards and stuff, but this is synth engines. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up with the chat in a second, just answering some work related notices so I could keep buying more samplers and have something to talk to you guys about. Okay. Okay. Let me catch up with the chat. Okay, so maybe he did own it. Again, I could be wrong. I didn't follow like further from there. But you know, there's also a lot of studio rentals in New York, studio equipment rental in New York. So he probably like, yo, I made heat with that. Let me rent it. You could rent from a lot of spots in New York. Not saying that he doesn't own it. Again, hopefully Ryan comes in the chat and be like, yo, Ryan Leslie here. Yeah, I own that. What are you talking about? He's a millionaire anyway, so. Okay. But yeah, he probably had one. Yeah, the Lisa's reverb. That's how I know. That's what I know them for. Those effects unit, rack mount effects, and then obviously they started making affordable. Let's say I don't like to use the word cheap. Affordable, entry level studio equipment for the people, which is fire that they did that. Yeah, the Mob Deep reverb is from the Quadriverb. I read that too in an interview from a producer of that. Okay, so you see, man, this is what I love about this chat, man, and this community. Not just this chat, is that like you'll get put onto something, and then another member of the chat and participant of the channel, y'all just homies. To me, I don't like to call people like subscribers or whatever. Is you get put on. If you pay attention, you get put on. You get to know what the option is, the budget option, and then if you get cool with Nino, he'll tell you how to get this for dirt cheap. Pay attention, man. Pay attention. Join too, man. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy, man. Get out your shell, man. Get out your shell. Network with each other. It's gonna benefit your pockets and your sound. The microverb. I'll look into that, Lawrence13. Thank you for that gem, man. You can find a quadriverb for $50. Damn. That's cheaper than buying Valhalla plugin, bro. Or just the same price. And you got a analog thing. Yeah, reverb gonna be scraping your bits to steal the techno. Yo, for real, man. Whatever, bro. We not gatekeepers, so yo, need to paywall your chat replays. Patreon or something, right? Nah, man. I find it so hard to like do that. I'll just let it grow, and then obviously like the channel will grow. But I don't like any of that stuff, bro. Like, y'all gotta pay me for this and that. Sponsors. I mean, that'll be the day like I gotta just dip, because like if I do some sponsor stuff, it's like I already sold out. Nothing wrong with that, man. Get your bread to all the channels that are. I'm saying, like, yo, they become Akai commercials, these channels. I feel like there's not a lot of like, there's a few, and I mentioned the ones that are on this channel before, that are like real community gems. Like, you're getting honest, like real people, not just somebody doing a clickbait with that. With the YouTube thumbnail face on it and the pretty lights, and they're a commercial, man. You got bought out. Just be honest. You don't like that new one because they probably put their new sampler away and start using the old one after they get that check and that free new toy. But let's be real. Let's be real with what it is. And if they give me that deal, then I'm making another channel, because this gotta stay organic. I'm taking their money and I'm gonna make a new channel. It's gonna call Freeplay Sells Out. 100. And if you want smaller desktop version of the Quadriverb, cop an Elise's Wedge for about this. Yo, you guys are a godsend, man. That's definitely the truth. We gotta keep our community strong. I get it. I bought your ASR program thing just to support, even though I had it made. Yeah, bro. Like that was just me like trying something, and like I don't even think I cashed out on that, because I haven't signed into my Patreon in forever. Yeah, bro. I was trying to see if that was of value, bro. But I couldn't get with it, bro. Like the one thing I did was, like, when I dropped my album, my hip hop album, which I don't even push on this, is I did merch for a while, and I wear the hat sometimes and the hoodie. And my fam, like, and my base, like, supporters, like, copped it. And then that also, like, the website of that died. But I'm gonna get more organized with stuff like that. But I just don't want to be about that, man. Like, cause this is what, like, I get on here to really learn from y'all and to talk and be like, okay, I could give this information back. But look at that, man. We got Lawrence, Nino, A Major, like, dropping knowledge, giving you guys options. Like if you're in the market for analog outboard effects, you just got mad options of budget stuff that's been on legendary records, things that are proven. We talked about the reliability of some of these things. We talked about like price range, so you could know when you're getting a good deal or when you're getting like taken advantage of. Yeah, bro. Y'all gonna see me, I'm gonna be like, yo, that's it. There's no more Freeplay like on this channel. I'm gonna have to change my name when I get the check, if I take it, because I got a job already, so I don't need to be doing this to farm for fucking, I mean, damn. Look, I said I wasn't gonna curse. It just like I'm passionate about, because all these channels became advertisement channels, man, for these companies, bro. And y'all see it, man. Y'all see it in the thing, in y'all timelines. And this is bro. I'm not knocking it, bro. You gotta feed your family. You gotta get your check. But let's be honest, it's not neutral. It's not like a neutral opinion anymore. There's not like an honest review anymore. Everything has an angle now. And I guess I'm just like small enough to be like believable that it's not that, because it's not, you don't see me like, I'll tell you exactly, everything, obviously, besides anything that was gifted, I paid for everything in my studio. Yeah, man. Thank you guys, because y'all also real. So it's just like, I think like attracts like. I do also believe that opposites attract, but in this community field thing, it's just like, bro, like Nino would say certain things, or like even we were talking about a book, and it's like we had the same book, bro. Like it don't get more synchronized than that, bro. So I think that I'm just like, it just makes sense. Like we all on the same like kind of like mentality, if you will, and the same type of like, like real recognize real type of vibe. That's how I would describe it more than anything. And the energy, like, is the same energy with the people here. No video, no content, bro. I'm gonna take that 1 year break again. I mean, I think I was taking like months on break. That was like, obviously I was going through personal stuff, but sometimes I'm just like, what am I gonna make that is either A, not out there, or B, doesn't look like a commercial for myself or for one of these companies, because I'm not sponsored, right? So anytime it's like when Alex Yala, I hope I'm saying his name right, but when he came in asking about the ASR 10, I was like, I would have been like, yeah, man, get an ASR 10, that way you could join us and we're like together on. Now we'd be like, yo, better be ready. Better be ready, because this is not, I've said it before, these vintage samplers are not for the weak. They're not for the weak. And by what I mean by that, again, it's just like the patience. You gotta have the patience of a Buddha, of a Buddhist, to rock with these things, man. So it's not about like, oh, you're not talented enough to rock on these samples. No, it's not that. It's just like, why are you gonna give yourself that headache? I think everybody that's landed at that place now is more of a factor of we just like learn how to use that. Why do I need something else to do the same 16 drum chops and rearrangement, like I said before, if you're making that kind of music? Because yes, these new machines are infinitely more powerful. We're talking about 30 years in tech. Nowadays, technology moves like quick in a day or in 3 months. You got technology that's superseding what we had, obviously, in 1994. But those of us that came from that era and also have heroes that are from that era, we feel validated in a sense. We feel comfortable navigating the screen of something like a MPC 2000 XL. Try to put one of the new kids that are coming up now on iPads in front of an MPC 2000 XL or even a Game Boy. Give them a Game Boy. See if they like that. They're not going to rock with it. For me, it's nostalgia heaven. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this. MPC 2000 XL got the same screen as a Game Boy original. Same color, same everything. So to me, that's like, nah, no, I come from this. I know this. I could get with this. I don't mind the extra time, and it's also, yeah, simple for me, but that's making it harder for like, oh, I gotta waste so much time for this to process, you know? Think about it. Or just because you're gonna look more valid as a producer? Nah, we don't do it for those reasons. We do it because it works for us, and that's it. You landed there, you stopped there, and then you decided to master it there. And it does that function as you need it to. That to me is like the real reason why you should be even looking at using any of these things in your process. But again, use your hard-earned money however you want. Buy as many MPCs as you want. I'm sure all the companies will be happy. And hopefully you are too. Because what I end up seeing sometimes is the person that has 5 MPCs, and if you are here, welcome. I'm not trying to diss you or anything, but it's like that's not, you're not gonna be happy with that 5th one. You're gonna want more because you're a collector too. You might also be a producer, but admit it. First step is admitting it. You're also a collector. And I got more respect for the people that say that, because I've seen channels where they're talking MPs, and I watch the video, so I'm giving you my view, my like, my subscription. I'll subscribe to you, and they're saying like, no, yeah, I collect them, so I got this one, I got the other one, and I see the pictures of all. That's fire. Don't get me wrong. I don't got space or money for that, and then it also like would distract me from my end goal, which is to like master my machine. I hate new gear. Every new piece, I don't have a honeymoon phase. I have a now I need to wait for myself to advance to the point it can do what I want phase. Yeah, I do. I'm on that train just because I think things are overvalued too now. Like take for example, right? That same Thursday we were talking, and then I go to work, and I get to work, and what do I see? I see the Gen 2, the new blue MPC 1, obviously, and the retro Gen 2 MPC Key 37. And I'm like, all right. I've never said on this channel, like, yo, I don't, like, it's not for me. But I've never knocked it, like, oh, the converters, this and that. That's not my argument. My argument is, like, it could be price range, but it also, it just doesn't, I don't need a doll in a box, number one, because I own Ableton Suite, I own Logic Pro, and FL Studio Producer Edition. So I'm not trying to get away from the box or out of my computer. But when I use a sampler, I am going for the sound at this point, because my 2000 XL has a sound that if I don't see it in another unit or it's better, I'm not going to want to leave my XL, no matter how long it takes me to chop a drum loop on it. And then outside of doing the drum chops and that whole looping thing is like, okay, what else? Memory is a big issue nowadays, but we're only fitting what is it, like 4 gigs of RAM on this new 2026, 64 gigs, I think, of storage and 4 gigs of RAM. That's diabolical. RAM is not that expensive to buy. So the fact that they only put in that is like, so that I feel that is to do the Apple thing. And again, I'm a proud iPhone user, proud Mac owner, iMac in the closet. Like I've given them my money. I've supported them with my dollar. I've supported Akai with my dollar. Even though it's a vintage machine, I've put my money where my mouth is. So that's what we could do nowadays. 4 gigs on the RAM. Nah, man. Come on. In my opinion, you're better off buying a Mac M1 Pro or better for like $1,000 and not getting any of that, because it's like the Ableton sampler is probably the most powerful sampler that exists, hardware or software. I think could be wrong. It's kind of like why people are buying up VHSs and VCRs now. People want to watch the movie without ads popping up, without data collection, without OS, UI, and UX updates. Yeah, man. The updates mess with me, bro. Heavy. I'ma never have to update my ASR or my MPC 2000 XL when I turn it on. That's for sure. I be having to update Logic, because even if I see it sometimes, like, or FL Studio, a new version is available, like I'm just tempted to be like, okay, I should be up to date. If my Valhalla reverb is not up to date, I start being like, oh, I should update this. Now I wasted 30 minutes before I started making a beat. So that's also why sometimes I stay out of the box, because of that whole internet thing, like updates and stuff, you know. People want what they own to behave. People want what they own. I'm sorry, Lawrence, I'm a little confused. To behave as expected. I don't know. I'm a little confused by that statement, but I know what you mean. Makes sense. Is that making sense to me as I read it? You will own nothing and you will like it. Yeah, no, that's the motto of the future, bro. Cause there's paywalls behind all these things, right? So they could break your Tesla, man. You can't drive it. You know what I mean? So that's the future right now. And it's like, if you can't, like, I've seen people, and that could be a user error on Facebook, like, oh, I can't log into my InMusic account, so I can't use my MPC. Like, I'm having a login issue. And the fact that we're on, or not we, because I don't use the new Akai stuff, but they're on 3. MPC 3 is still beta. It's not even an official OS. So, like, I think 2 is still the official one. Like, that's what I see Conductor Williams on. So it's like they keep selling the hardware, you know, coming out in the dope colors. Obviously, that's gonna give people that own the 4000 and the 2000 XL blue version, I gotta have the one in blue. All right, whatever. And it's also updated with more memory, more RAM. But like, you can't log in, you know what I mean? Or like, it's still beta. Like, should I put that? Yeah, 3.9 still beta 3 years in. So it's not. And the beta thing, to me, why keep it beta? It could be a legal thing. It's just like, we can't guarantee that it's gonna work that well and people are gonna have, so that's why it's still beta. Because technically, like, if anybody here is a software person, engineer, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you say something is beta, it's not considered an official release. So your terms and services could, like, sidestep certain things. You know what I mean? That's why it's not considered. Like, you put beta things on your system or on your computer or on your hardware at your own risk. But why are we marketing with a beta? That kind of, like, it hits a little nerve in me. That's why I don't do it. And same thing happened to me with Native Instruments Machine. I owned Machine MK1, and they abandoned it. They abandoned the machine support for the MK1 so that you could get the 2, and then I'm stuck with a controller, and I'm like, wait, I just paid, I think, $699 or $499, whatever the OG price of the MK1 was, and I'm like stuck. Like, I can't. I'm like, nah, I need to get myself even if it's an old MPC, because you can't freeze my MPC. Like, that's it. I connect it to a wall. I don't need a portable back. People be complaining too about, like, oh, if it wasn't this heavy, if it was portable, if it was, like, I want to make beats at the park or at the beach. Like, people that are professional users of these equipment, or like really trying to use it, that's not the audience, man. You don't need to be making beats at, like, Be at the beach like, enjoy the beach, man. Why are you trying to make beats at the beach? Yeah, bro. 3.9, like, or OS 3 still being in beta, like, something's up there, man. Something's going on there that I don't know. But I probably just lost my my chance at being sponsored by the company that made, because that's not the same company that made my favorite sampler, my favorite drummers. Not trying to curse, but I would say the F word right now. But yeah, man. I think obviously, like, everybody that's here kind of has that same mentality, and I haven't shied away from it. But I can't. I would have to, like, literally, like, have a face-to-face conversation with their development, with their people, and be like, okay, so why this? Why that? I do this. How is that beneficial? Why are we still doing this? I get it. This is not the flagship model. This is not that. This is it. But there's certain things that to me just don't make sense. This is why certain products get abandoned, because of capitalism, because we're trying to sell as many units. New colors sell more than, like, functionality. New colors. And just a little bit more memory. Because you got to make it an upgrade from the previous thing, right? Just a little bit more thing. And with the design, they weren't even like, nah, they just repainted. Like, if you ordered a bunch of the thing, you just got to paint in a different color now. It's like they figured out the perfect format to keep making, like, how iPhone they make the same phone every year. And I love Apple. I put my money in Apple. As far as, like, Apple gear, that's what runs my studio, a MacBook M1 Pro, and I'm an iOS user. So you're able to talk about the things you don't like and still support it. We need to get used to that. You know what I mean? We need to get comfortable with demanding more from the people that make the products that we want to support, and having, like, real dialogue about it. There's some chats that are not appearing on my thing and are coming up. Hold on. Could be a user end error, because Oh, is free dumb? Yeah, bro. I was shout you out earlier, bro. I think your messages get filtered in my YouTube chat because of the name, but I'm not telling that's a cool name. Low key AI got RAM prices at levels unseen before. That's true. The hard drives went up, bro. Yeah, AKA in the chat, Akai in the chat. I doubt they don't mess with us micro influencers, as they call it, although I don't consider myself an influencer. But yeah, Freedom, I mentioned you earlier, bro, because I felt like I was ignoring your comments when I reread the chat on the video, but it doesn't come up in my let me see, live chat. Oh, okay, I had a wrong setting. Live chat, all messages are visual. I had only, like, top messages visible. My bad. That is my old, like, I'm a millennial, I guess is what they call it. Let me see if I missed any other messages that you said. Can't go back that far, but I think when you came in, 50% cheaper than anything UAD. Yeah, $50 cheaper. Yeah. Just cook up and you're golden. Yes, sir. All them buttons on modern NPCs be scaring me, not gonna lie. Yeah, man. Buttons what do you need that for? And low key AI got RAM. Yeah, so yeah, AI does affect the prices of RAM, bro. That's why people are trying to burn down these data centers and stuff. So Lawrence 13 says they can shut off your car because you spoke against children being bombed and you fly off a cliff. Damn, that's scary, man. But I have seen things like that happen. Like let's say like they got paywalls behind like certain things like self-driving, for example. So you know that the car can do that, and they're able to limit the functionality of your car if you don't pay for that feature. Like that's kind of like crazy, right? So if they could do that, imagine, like you said, you miss a payment and then your car gets shut off. You have, that obviously you shouldn't be missing a payment, but like they might not be allowed to do it in a way that risks your safety, but still, like, now you can't use your car. If the apocalypse is happening, you can't just get in your car and be out. You forgot to update your car. You didn't update it in time for the apocalypse. They screwed up allowing the old gen to use MPC3. They should have just had that for new gen to at least justify the old ones being different and not vaporware. Yes, you're right, Nino. But I think they were so excited that things were catching up to them or about to surpass them, specifically like even Teenage Engineering and Electron and Roland gaining traction, that they're like, but wait, we have this. A live one is gonna be sold for like $100-$150 now. That's kind of fire, that's when I probably will start to go into it, because they're dropping things so fast that it's messing up your resale value of your equipment. So even then, like, you getting screwed, right? So you gotta sell it to get the new one, because you don't want to be holding the hot potato, right? I can't see the other guy unless I'm blocked also. No, I think it was something with like, I think the name, they might think it's like spam or something. But my bad, Freedom. We not trying to like blacklist you ourselves, because I appreciate your participation, bro. You've been active on my videos too, commenting and actually watching them. So you're a valued member of our community. But it could be something with the YouTube community guidelines that's restricting your names, because you participate just as much as everybody else. So your name should come up on the top chats, man. We got to start supporting boutique sample makers. There are some really good ones out there. Yeah, man, like, I'm all for that. Honestly, like, I know Teenage Engineering be overpriced. I just thought the KO2 wasn't. And I support their ethos, like the company ethos, when it comes to like the aesthetic of design, and their stuff sounds really good, man. The KO2 sounds good, and I've never seen a sample have 46 kilohertz in sample rate or whatever sample frequency that it samples at. And I think that has a lot to do with the pitch up and down thing that we were talking about before, Nino, where you could go mad semitones. I think it's because of the 46 kilohertz. I'm pretty sure. Nah, bro, it's not YouTube. I think it's because of the name dumb, because you have like the DUMB. I think that YouTube is not messing with that. But yeah, bro, we mess with you here, bro. Like, you've been a long time supporter. I've seen you on the comments for a long time, bro, and you always in the lives. I was tight when I rewatched it. I'm like, yo, it looks like I'm ignoring this guy, bro. But what was I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, when it comes to like resale value, like, it's so bad, man. It's so bad to keep dropping these new machines with minimal upgrade features, because it's like you're gonna be stuck with so much waste, so many people thinking that they need to go to the next thing, and probably somebody that has an MPC 1 plus or whatever, because I think the one never had the internet connection to it, so whatever, you can't connect splice to it, for example. But if you have a 1 plus because it's red and you want the blue one, like, What are we getting to now? There's only one machine that I'll buy new. The new EA Ski and Dave Rossum machine. They cooking is gonna be fire, and I'll support that. Rossum's a genius, and Ski involved means it'll be dope. Yeah, bro. I watch all those. That's why I was like afraid to like be controversial, because I know Ski is not afraid to speak his mind, and I didn't want to be. Obviously, I be myself on these channels, but just like I'm not a very like. I don't want to speak out against companies, because they are the reason why we have these tools. But I just don't feel like it's in the best interest of the community at times. And I don't feel like some of them are not listening. Even Ableton doesn't listen sometimes, because it's like, why don't we have Aura 2 support in Ableton? Like, come on. They're doing extensions and all this other like AI stuff, but it's like people, and go to any Ableton comment section and everybody's complaining about Aura 2. Like, just do it already. It's probably easy for them to do it. Pro Tools had it forever. Like, I know Studio One has that too. So it's like, just give the people what they need and want, and it's not gonna cost you much to do that. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. My favorite sampler says synth lately is the Dirty Wave M8. That looks fire, the Dirty Wave M8. It can fit in my pocket. Yeah, bro. I be gassing over that, but too expensive for me, and I haven't dove deep into it enough to justify. I know I could, bro. I could research something enough to justify it in my head, but that's one of those ones that it's like the OP1. Like, I just can't. It's already beyond. I also last time I think it was Lawrence that mentioned the oak sampler that's like a ASR 10 that's being made. I saw the Daydream Sound was talking. I think it was about that, because I saw the thumbnail on the title for his last stream. He does a Sunday stream on samplers, which is dope. And I've listened to it before. I participated in it before, but I'm curious, man. Like, is that thing legit, or is it like Nino said that they're just sourcing old ASRs and putting them, because that's not gonna be valuable. If that's how it's being done, it's not. That's not a W for the community, by the way. If you're just skinning like old ASRs and putting them in a smaller thing, but you're not actually able to recreate that yourself, I don't think that that's the direction that people that want a hardware ASR in 2026 need. You know, and I could be wrong, man. Again, like, shout out to the brother that's creating that. We support everybody here, but we just want more info. You can get a OnePlus for the same as an MPC sample. Yeah, I saw that. And I saw a Live 2 the other day for $450. Wow. This is a $1,300 sampler 2 years ago, guys. No point in hopping from model to model, and your beats on the first machine may not even be sounding right. No, the people don't have they don't get to the point where you can't master something in a year, man. If I was even, like, for example, us that come from using MPCs for many years, we hop on the new one, it's a whole new thing to learn, and they have obviously way more functionality, so it's gonna take almost a lifetime to really master the things. We could learn how to use them in the way that we do. That's why the MPC sample was so popular too, not just because of the size and the price point. That was one of the many factors, but I think it's because it's like the MPC sample showed everyone, like, you don't need all this doll in a box thing. It, like, what we do musically is very bare bones. You don't even need that much memory, you know, but it's still, it kind of like irks me, because you're trying to put all this technology in it, but you're still giving people only 4 gigs. Like, anyone that works in audio, like 16 gigs is the minimum that anything audio related should have. For a long time already, that's been the starting point. Like, you need to be at 16. Let's start there. And these things started with like 2. Now they're at 4, and then let's wait 4 more models down the line till you finally get 16, and then it's like you mad behind in tech wise. You're behind still. I hopped on a new one for a solid year straight. Yeah, I know you told me you gave it to your 4-year-old. Just to say I actually gave it a fair shot. It's very fast and powerful. I could make 3 beats a day, and I'm usually 1 every 2 days in my old ways. Yeah, I make 1 beat a day on my old sampler, working the way I want. So I still don't understand Q-Links on the MPC Live. Yeah, Q-Links come all the way back from the 2500 Freedom. So I know it's used differently, but to my understanding, that's just the way that you can map macros and parameters. If that's, I think that's what the Q-Links are for. But it's hollow to create on for me. So for me, it just isn't inspiring to work with, and I'm not interested. I'm also a deep diver, so I went into modulation, articulations, etc., but it's just not fun. I'm not gonna say that's all I needed to hear, but it's reason enough for me to keep my money. Okay. The 4K was the first one with the Q-Links? Okay. I thought the 2500 had Q-Links. Maybe they were called that, but they weren't used that way. Or they were just like variation knobs too, right? But yeah, guys, it's getting to that time. I'm like an hour late for dinner. Yeah, no, I think that the 2500 has Q1, Q2. So I think they were. Oh no, yeah, it does. It says Q-Link on the 2500. Did the 2500 come out before the 4000? Oh, it came after. My bad. I was under the impression the 2500 was before the 4K for some reason. Okay. Makes me like the 4K even more now. Yeah, bro. Pardon my ignorance, man. Pardon my ignorance. You can't go by the number system. I was going by like 2000, 2500. Obviously, the 3000 was before, but yeah, I was going by that, and then I thought then it was like the 4K. So that's what I thought. I thought it was like the 2500, 1500. I know was a series. Then I thought the 4K came out, and then I thought the 5K came out. But that was just my fault. Yeah, so the 4K is, like you said, the last machine before it got sold over to Newmark. And then in music, and then we have what we have now. But yeah, man, I don't know if I guess a lot of you guys are on the same page when it comes to that. Like, I'm not jacking that release cycle right now, bro. Cause it, like, the way I look at it is like this, right? And it's not that I hate on the new machines. It's like, if I bought the blue one that came out last Thursday, like in 6 months from now, they're gonna drop the retro version of the G2. That's coming. I know for a fact. You could mark my words on this stream. We could pin this stream. They're gonna drop an old retro version looking, because they've done it with all of them, of the new one. Now my blue one is not gonna be worth nothing. If my MPC has gone up in value, my 2000 XL and my ASR. So if they were doing it the right way, which would be like develop the software, get it out of beta, give people the right amount of memory when you do upgrade it, and even change the box a little bit. Y'all kept the same box and just painted it. But then you're not investing into something that could grow in value. You're actually devaluing it. So like, if you paying 800 for that new one now, you already seen it. Like Lawrence was the one that mentioned it. Like, you could get a Live 2 for 450. I remember when I was looking at the Live Retro, the retro, $12.99 on zsounds.com or whatever. So that's crazy. Painted plastic, by the way. Yeah, that's a fact. The 2000 and the 4000, all those machines are all metal. The 2500, mostly metal. The tilt screen is obviously plastic, and the knobs are plastic, but you know what we mean. They've been the new Kai almost longer than the older Kai now, though, so I can't really call them new Kai anymore. Yeah, But the people know what you mean. Like when they got sold off to Newmark, and when they got rid of Roger Lynn, and it didn't have his soul anymore. If anything, take advantage of the Live 1 for 300. Downgrade to OS 2.5. Yeah, that's what I was seeing, because I was seeing the Conductor Williams stuff. I would probably be on 2.15, knowing my old head like mentality. I would stay on that and just rock with even like I like the format of the MPC one. So if it was me, I would get a retro colored one, because I want it to look like my 2000 XL, but I wouldn't try to put OS 3 beta on that. I will rock with the 2.15. Not like you can go MPC stuff and buy a faceplate for it anyway, and vinyl skins on the Russian side. Facts, bro. It boggles my mind how I see in the comments people being like, "Oh, this is fire, yeah." Like, nah, man. We gotta speak with our money, man. We gotta vote. We gotta vote with our dollar. They can't scam you if you chop the sample in your head first. That's right, man. I kept the Live 2 on 2.15, never went to 3. No, that's the way I would have rocked with it. And like, I seen Conductor, like he's a professional. He's getting paid to make as much beats as he can a day, because he works with industry artists. So he needs something faster than a 2K XL. I've mentioned this before, but he's probably in the same like ethos as we have. Like what I mean by that, again, is like the same spirit, the same mentality, of staying on, like, I'm not gonna upgrade my MPC, the new version, because I'm just not having this thing get bricked on me, which it can, because you're putting a beta software on it. So that's what I would be doing. Same thing as him. And the One Plus probably makes more sense because it has a Wi-Fi card in it. Oh, you see, Lawrence 13. I'm a hardcore One Plus user with the tilt screen, more buttons per function, and feels more like an old MPC. Yep. That's what I would rock. That's what I would rock with. But yeah, man, we're nearing 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2.5 hour stream. I like this format because you could see the chat, you could go back, you could see that we were talking about things of value. We were enlightening each other and talking about the things that are important to our community. I'll try my best to get back on at some point, not today, but during this week. I got a busy week. And continue wherever you guys take the conversation. I don't come on here with an agenda, so it goes wherever you guys take it, and I'm more than happy to allow that to be the case. But I did want to talk about this that we ended up with, which was just like, make it make sense, man. There's that guy that has that, make it make sense. Helped close my day. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Nino, man. Thank you, Nino, for the constant knowledge, bro. And for sharing that here, bro, because you could be anywhere else. Enjoy the evening, y'all. Next time. Good night, everyone. Yes, sir. Freedom. We ignored you last time, but it wasn't on purpose, so I'm going to leave with that, man. Good night to you too, my brother. Thank you, everybody, for coming through here, for your participation. And until next time, it's your boy Freeplay. Thank y'all for rocking with me, man. Peace.